In this clip, I walk Alex through a process to transform his professional life into something more aligned with his heart and spirit. We explore how consciousness shapes our circumstance, how the way we think, believe, and show up directly influences our reality and the opportunities available to us. I also give him clear, practical steps to integrate into his daily life so he can hold himself accountable and become the change he's been seeking. Let's take a look. I want to know what is optimal in your life. Like if you could paint within your life the
Mhm,
ideal solution and you don't have to leave or you want to leave, it doesn't matter. But what is perfect for you if I could snap my fingers and create
mhm.
that for you like a genie? What would that look like? Same office, same Monday through Thursday, more patients, better cases, or a whole new exciting start, adventure, moving out of state, you know, becoming I don't know, a professional baseball player, why like whatever it is,
Yeah.
what would you want within your life that you believe is reasonable? What's the dream?
So I think the dream would be, yeah, to do bigger cases. Um, Also, I'm only working with one assistant right now, which is a hindrance to seeing more patients, you know? So if I had another strong assistant, because we did have another assistant, a second one, but she wasn't as competent, so we had to let her go. So if I had another strong assistant, we had the marketing to market some bigger procedures. Um, I don't know what else. Yeah, it's kinda where I'm at
So
right now, kind of
awesome.
thinking, yeah.
Here's what I recommend is one, I would get out a piece of paper, and you kind
Mhm,
of did this already, and you're of this wavelength, the gratitude, but I would pour a bunch more of energy into it to reassess and write out exactly what you're grateful for. And you are Monday through Thursday, awesome staff, supportive staff. The patients are educated. They're very kind people. You have this lifestyle, but go in and write all about what you're so grateful for. So what this is it's us taking our energy, our perspective, and looking at life for what it is instead of what it isn't. Okay. It's
mhm,
basic attachment. Right now, you're attached because you want life to be different than what it is. And that's okay. You're not, being really emotionally disrupted. You're not being challenged. You're not making the income. You're not as excited about work. And you want change. You want more growth. You want, a different kind of experience for yourself. This is all perfectly healthy and normal, but it's still attachment and it's causing suffering. Now you're feeling bored and kind of a little dull over here and life's not as exciting. Do you see like there's still a kind of surface level suffering here?
mhm,
So based on attachment. So one, we have to situate what is our reality in order to change our energy from attachment and life being dull and unexciting to
yeah,
really embodying authentic gratitude for the reality of what life is. Okay. So this is
okay.
us going through a frequency change. So what it is that we are vibrating with this frequency, and this frequency is transmitting out into the ether, out into the quantum field, and it will then resonate back with us that same signature frequency through experiences. We will get experiences that are aligned with our frequency. Okay. So our thoughts, our beliefs create the reality that we are living. They externalized, and our consciousness is scripting our experience, our circumstance. So, in order to change and get out of the negative frequency, the best jump to do that, the best and most efficient tool to make a very impactful shift immediately and efficiently is gratitude. So, it's
Mm,
going and looking at life for what it is and then drumming up authentic emotion of appreciation, thankfulness, and gratitude so that we feel different. And now we're vibrating at a higher frequency. So now we've changed what we're transmitting out into the external world. This is
mm,
the very first thing we need to do. But it's kind of like imagine a radio tower that is sending out a signal, and then there's transmitters that rebound that signal back to it. And these things are like off in space. And so this transmitter sends the signal out of I'm bored, I'm dull, dull, work is dull. I'm not excited. Same old story. I feel like I was taken advantage of. And it sends that story out. And then
Mhm.
that rebounds, and then it comes back into our life, and we're seeing experiences that are aligned with that script, with that belief. So there's no marketing. Sorry, Alex, there's no marketing money to get more people in. Oh, that assistant wasn't very competent. We had to get rid of her. So now you're getting the reflection in experience of where you were at. Then we're still getting those ripples because when we send them out, they have to traverse time and space, rebound off wherever they're rebounding off, and then come back to us. So this is
Mm.
called the law of gestation. It takes time for change to happen in our realm. It can happen very quickly, but usually it takes a bit of time. So gratitude steps in and we stop sending that signal out. You see, it's like we shut the light off and then we shut it back on and it's bright and it's beautiful and it's a frequency and vibration that is very different than the victim mindset that we just had. Now, this new signal is being sent out. But as time goes by, we're still getting the reverberations from the previous signal and vibration. They're still coming back to us. Okay. So it
Mm.
takes time for us to change our lives because it needs to transform in the external. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So gratitude is the shift. Now we need to set the goal. You already told me the goal. You're like, I want more marketing dollars. I want, the assistant, but that's not what you really want. That is what you believe the solution is. What you
Mm.
really told me, your true goal was, I don't want to be bored. I want to be excited. I want to feel like I'm building a name for myself. I want to
Mm.
bring in more wealth. I want to provide for my wife and our family. I want to, advance my competence and my experience and my wisdom and know how in this practice of being a dentist. So you want to feel challenged. You want to feel confident. You want to feel proud. You want to feel excited. You want to feel abundance. You want to celebrate life. And you want to do all that with the current staff, if you can, with the current patient base, obviously adding to it, but people that are still kind because you're still grateful here. So you're going to set a goal and you're going to say, all right, let me stop and let me come to gratitude. I'm going to write down why I'm grateful for my life, especially in the practice. Focus just on work right now. Okay. That's on one sheet of paper. Second sheet of paper, you're going to write out how you want to feel every day. What does your life look like every single day, right? What car are you driving to work? How much money are you making? What kind of emotions do you feel? What kind of people are you working with? What kind of cases are you taking on? What kind of applications have you learned in dentistry that are an advancement on your current knowledge base, right? So you're building this whole entire almost like movie script. Can you almost see this happening now where you see this future version of yourself? This guy's working out 4 times a week. He feels better about himself. He's got a laser, case. He's placing an implant this week. Marketing dollars are coming in. We don't care where this happens. We don't care if it's at your current job or some other practice. That's none of your damn business, right? We care about the expression of emotion. So when you set the goal, you don't have to say it's at the current practice. Don't even mention it. Be like, this is my day. I have awesome, challenging cases. I'm growing as a practitioner. I'm growing as a businessman, as a leader, as this doctor, as this whatever. And I feel really excited about the challenge. I'm really confident that I'm growing through this stuff and I'm building confidence. I'm building pride. Do you see? You're equating everything emotionally because that's how we kind of quantify and qualify an experience. It's not on like, yes, I went to that restaurant and the lighting was blank and the forks were nice and this. It's how did the experience make me feel emotionally, right?
Mm.
So you're going to set a goal. So on a new piece of paper, you're going to set the goal and be like, here's my perfect dream life in my profession. Okay. And this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm experiencing and this is how it works. Okay. And then you're going to say, why are you capable of achieving all that? Why do you deserve all that? Okay. This is to remind yourself who you are. Because a lot of people will create that dream life and be like, there's no fucking way that'll happen to me, right? Not me. How can I do that? And no, it's the switch into the positive, optimistic perspective. I got this. I can do this. I'm worthy of this. I'm capable of igniting the change needed to usher in this new era of prosperity and abundance and wealth, etc. Do you see? You start becoming your own locker room coach, your own motivational speaker. And that will determine the external reality because now you believe something different. It's not just like where you get a menu at a restaurant and you see, oh my gosh, the caviar steak and lobster tails, $900. You're like, I'll never get that. I can't. You just know, you already believe you're not worthy of that thing, right? But you got to go, no, I deserve that and I work hard. I can get that. I can pay for that. I'm making money. I'm attracting wealth and press. Do you see? It's all about the belief. So you quantify the goal, then you tell yourself why the hell you got this, and you pump yourself up, even if you're delusional, because people are delusional in the negative sense all the time of why they can't get anything, why they won't deserve anything, why their boss won't give them this, why they won't get the challenge, and they have no evidence of this. They just believe
So
it,
true. So
and
true.
they're delusional. So be delusional in a positive space. I don't give a shit. Compared to negative delusional, it is 1,000 times better. Okay? Because it will serve, it will be the wind in our sails to actually change our external reality. So then once you've equated that last section there of why you're worthy of it, then you start a whole new paper. And at the top, you go, what am I going to do? What steps am I going to take? What time and investment and energy am I going to place into this to make this shit happen? And instead of sitting in your office and checking emails and being bored, you go, I'm going to start a TikTok channel to tell people who don't know about dentistry, that are, this younger generations, like certain stuff that they should do and why their gut, their mouth is tied to their gut and equates to them being healthy and stuff. And I'm gonna make it for an Asian base or for guys or for this or whatever. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not saying for you to do that, but ideas will flow. Right? I'm going to go to this conference and I'm going to try to speak over here and I'm going to try to do this over here. And I'm going to sit down with my boss and tell them that if things don't change, I potentially am going to make a shift. Where can we create solution with the opportunity that we have? What's my lowest hanging fruit? Let's look at this office. Why don't we have the marketing dollars? Why don't we pre-invest getting in another assistant so we can take on the new load and start doing, spending $50 in Facebook ads for high dollar procedures like laser stuff or implants with a laser, whatever it is that I can do and I have the equipment and the know-how to do, to start marketing that a little bit. And then you're going to have all these ideas. It's called mindstorming. Think of 20, 30 ideas, okay? And write them all down. Be like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can talk to this person, I can explore a different opportunity outside of this, I can update my resume, I can go see what other practices are looking for associates. Do you see? All these ideas start flowing. And now you don't sit there feeling like a victim. You've just taken the space of a creator. Okay. And then you've got all these ideas. Pick one. One will kind of rise above the page and be like, oh man, I got this. This is easy. I can do this now. I can do this right now. Do you see? And then you take action on that. And then every day you do this and you go, what is something today? 1 to 3 things I can do. Actually, you write it out the day before and you go, here are the 3 tasks associated with my goal of being very successful professionally that I'm going to do tomorrow. So you do that the night before, and you right before you go to bed or whatever, you're like, okay, I got this. I'm going to do that for tomorrow. And you keep up this momentum. And what will happen is life will help guide you. Your boss will potentially be a dick about the whole thing. And that's a good thing, because that gives you direction that it's not going to happen here, is it? He may be like, wow, this is interesting, Alex. We actually do have some possibility and some opportunity over here. Why don't we do blank? And now you've co-created opportunity. But he's over there thinking Alex is fine because Alex is not fighting for the change that he really wants. Alex, to him, is perfectly fine. He's happy with his hand, right? But now when you show up and you go, I need to ignite stuff. I want to thrive. I want to be raking in the cash and helping people, doing bigger cases, and this is my game plan. Can you support me in this? If he's like, no, absolutely not, then you know where to look. You go, thank you. Thank you for that meeting. That was exactly what I needed to hear to get the hell out of here. And then you pursue outside, right? But now you're taking your power and creating prosperity.